Hi, I'm Jan with Academic Technologies. With an increasing number of ways to assess students available to CNU's faculty, we've decided to go into more detail about the most popular mobile assessment platforms available on our campus. Today, we're talking about Socrative, a mobile assessment platform available for creating and delivering quizzes, tests, and even simple team games. In this first video, we'll go through the basics of logging into Socrative and creating a quiz you can use in your class. If you have any questions while watching this or later videos, you can reach out to CNU's academic tech team or to me personally at jana.doherty@cnu.edu. Instructors can log into Socrative either through a web browser at www.socrative.com or through Socrative's dedicated teacher app. We'll be focusing on the web browser for these videos, but know that the interface of the app and the web browser are close to identical, so what you'll see here will be pretty much the same even if you're using the app. When registering for Socrative to use the teacher login, we recommend that you use your university credentials. The easiest way to do that is to sign in with Google. The reason we recommend this has to do with storing the results of quizzes that you give to your students, so we'll point this out again in more detail in a later video, once we have some results to store. However, we'll just note it for now. When you log in, you're logging into a space known as a classroom. In the free version of Socrative, you get a single classroom, which you can then organize and use for all of your class periods. The name of this classroom will be important when your students join to take a quiz, so it's important to make sure you select a name your students will remember. Your classroom name will be shown up at the top of this main page. Mine currently says CNU Training, but when you first log on, it may just be little more than a string of random numbers and letters. You can change the name of your classroom by going into Rooms. You'll see the name of your room next to a pen icon. Clicking on that pen icon will give you a space where you can change that name. And click Save, and your classroom will now have a new name. You may see some additional items here, such as the ability to have multiple rooms or share, but I do want to point out that those are only available for users who upgrade to the Pro version of Socrative, and we're just covering the free version today. Quizzes are the primary unit in Socrative, the base you'll use to generate many of the activities this platform can offer. To create a quiz, go to the Quizzes section and select Add Quiz. When you click on this button, you'll note that there are two ways to create a quiz, either by creating a new one from scratch or importing it, which is helpful for faculty members who want to use quizzes that they already have in other platforms. We'll start with importing for that reason. Now, there are two ways to import a quiz. The first is by inputting what Socrative calls a SOC number, which is an identifying code tied to each individual quiz. We'll make sure to highlight where to find a SOC number on our own quizzes while we're creating one. Faculty members can share SOC codes of their own quizzes, allowing other faculty members to copy that quiz into their own classroom. For new users, we'll also provide a link in the description to an ongoing database of SOC codes provided by the Socrative community that you can also take advantage of. The second method will be useful for importing quizzes from other platforms. Socrative provides an Excel template that users can download and fill out with their own quiz questions. I'll open it up here. Once this template is filled out, according to the instructions provided, users can return to Socrative, return to this window, select Choose File, and upload the filled out template, which will automatically create a quiz to go into their quizzes section. Now let's discuss creating a quiz from scratch by selecting Create New. First, I want to point out that the sock code for the quiz we are now creating is already at the top of our editing space. We have the optioning to turn off sharing using this toggle, meaning that the sock code will be unavailable for other faculty to use, even if they get it. But if you want to share this quiz, allow other faculty members to have their own copies, you would leave that toggle on and provide this code, beginning with SOC, to anyone you want to have a copy. Below that code is a space for your quiz title. We'll call this one Basic Math. After picking a title, you have the option to align entire quizzes to a standard. And you also have the option to add 3 question types: multiple choice, true, false, and short answer. Let's start with a multiple choice question. You'll see that we have a space for the question as well as multiple answers. So let's do a simple math question. What operation will tell us how many cookies are in 2 dozen? Now we'll put some options such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. A few things you want to notice is that you can select the correct option by using these check marks, or choose the number of answers possible in a multiple choice question. Say if I want to delete an additional space, I would select this X. Or if I wanted to add another answer, I would select Add Answer. I have the ability to select multiple correct answers, or select none. A few things you'll notice across multiple types of questions. The first is that you'll see a picture icon next to the question field itself. Clicking on that icon will bring up a window where you can add a photo to the question, which can be useful for quizzes that use maps or diagrams. I'm just going to use this photo of some flowers. There are also a few buttons on the side here that will allow you to make adjustments to the question as a whole. I can delete this question, move it up or down a quiz once there are multiple questions. Say if I want this to be question number 3 instead of number 1. Or I can use it to copy this question so I can make a question that is similar but has slightly different content without using a brand new template. Finally, every question of each type has this field at the bottom titled Explanation. This is where you can provide feedback to a student answering the quiz and explain why the right answer is right or why a wrong answer is wrong. We'll provide an explanation here. 2 dozen is 2 times 12. Before we move on, let's take a quick look at some of the other question types. We'll start with true-false. The true-false template looks very similar to multiple choice, except it replaces the multiple choice fields with a pair of true-false buttons. So we'll just do a quick one here. We'll select true. And we'll move on to the short answer. The short answer question is a little different from the others in one major way. If you have a specific answer you'd like to input, you can click Add and fill in the resulting field. So let's do a quick question about any cookies are in 2 dozens. And we can place in an answer in here, saying 24. However, I would note that Socrative's correct answers field is highly sensitive. Unless you're using it to have students input a very specific answer in a very specific way, such as a template for fill-in-the-blank questions, I wouldn't recommend using it. For example, if a student wrote out the words 24 instead of using the numbers the way I've placed here, this question would be marked incorrect. So, this platform will even mark a correct answer wrong if it's not written in the exact same way as it's shown in this field. Instead, I'm just going to select delete and delete that answer. Now, at the end of each question, I can click save, or you can move on to the next question as I've been doing. But when you're finished creating a question, you can click the Save and Exit button at the top to return to the quiz section. And you'll see your new quiz in this list. If you ever want to return to a quiz to edit it, you can click on the quiz title to re-enter the creation space. I'll click Save and Exit again. From here, you can also copy a quiz, download a PDF version of your quiz, or quickly access the SOC code for sharing. Thank you for joining us for this first video about Socrative. If you're interested in trying out Socrative, we've provided some additional information and a link to the platform in the description below this video. You can also reach out to our team at Academic Technologies if you have any other questions, or would just like help setting up Socrative for your classroom. You can also reach out to me directly at jana.doherty@cnu.edu. Bye!